So I was on the maiden voyage, if you will, with HECHO back when HECHO was formed with a concept to elevate Hispanic voices in conservation. Really important thing, as everybody, all the big green groups and all of the conservation organizations were talking about diversity and equity, and HECHO was brought from that mentality that the Hispanic community needed voices in conservation issues and campaigns. I think it was necessary in some of our conservation campaigns that we get the Hispanic voice involved, especially because in New Mexico, a large majority is Hispanic here, and the voice, if it's not elevated and if it's not recognized, how can you advocate for conservation when you're not involving the people who actually live on these lands and have been here for longer than the United States has been a country? There's no lack of talent in the Hispanic community. We have PhDs in environmental science and water science and all of these major components of conservation. Our cultures have been practicing conservation for centuries, not decades, it's centuries that we've been on the land and we've been practicing conservation. We just didn't call it conservation. But we know how to share water, and we know how to share the land and take what we need and not take more than we need, and spread water in riparian areas and keep them healthy. And all these things were practiced for centuries before the quote-unquote conservation movement began in the United States. HECHO created the Hispanic Conservation Leadership Council, the HCLC. It's a first of its kind organization, or sub-organization, if you will, made up largely of elected officials, ex-elected officials, acequia leaders, water board members, and community leaders, people in economic development. And I think the effectiveness of the HCLC has become a great example to other conservation organizations, engaging our elected officials and them being willing to fly into Washington, D.C. to advocate for conservation measures and to advocate for the people and for different things has proved to be extremely effective. Today, we get calls all the time. People want us to join coalitions. They want to hear HECHO's perspective on a lot of conservation issues, and that's a huge, monumental thing that's happened with this little organization. Who would have thought we would be in this situation, in a short 10 years? We have created a profound impact on conservation, and I'm just looking forward to seeing this organization grow. It's come a long way, and everything is growing and looking bright for this organization.